That's the Han River we're passing alongside. The night slowed down into a river so broad that its glow on the opposite shore seemed a universe away, so vast and so dark that the glimmering reflections that stirred along the borders did not gain the other side but drowned mid-river, where the water flowed in an unbroken ribbon of black silk. Carla was spellbound. When they turned away from the Han, she turned back her head to hold it within sight a moment longer. That's an amazing river, huh? Here we are. This is Jamshil. You're in Odanji. Here we are. This is Jamshil. You're in Odanji. Carla restrained herself from bursting into a refrain of, "Hi ho, there we go, you're in Odanji now." Benny didn't seem to type, so instead she asked, "Is this where I'm going to live?" "Yes." "I see. I should tell you Mary discovered the body." "Jesus Christ!" She and her roommate, they'd gone over to see why she wasn't at work. Her roommate was so shook up that she broke her contract and went back to the States. A friend of theirs has been staying at the apartment, so you'll be meeting her too. Mr. Han exchanged a few words in Korean with a man in a glass booth at the entryway to the building, and he and Carla and Benny bundled over to the elevator. Carla had had no time to see what this Odanji was that was now behind her outside, except that it appeared to have been an apartment complex straining to make its presence known in the anonymity of an extremely cold winter night. They stepped into the elevator and Mr. Han pressed the button for the 12th floor. They stepped out into a breezeway and turned left and then right down an exterior walkway flanked by a low wall on the right and the actual building on the left. From what Carla could tell now as she trotted along, Odanji was a dark, freezing depth, emitting a distant boom of late night traffic from somewhere not readily discernible. Out in the cold, they stopped at the second apartment in, and Benny rapped at the metal door. The door opened first a crack, stopped dead by a chain bolt. Then it was unlatched and opened wide to reveal a small entryway defined by a step up to the apartment proper. They were admitted by a young Korean woman, dressed head to feet in punk black, her black hair a coxcomb. "You must be Carla," she said. "Yes, and you must be my roommate," said Carla. "Oh no, Mary's out. She should be back in a while. I'm so new." Meanwhile, Benny and Mr. Han had towed off their shoes and stepped up into the apartment. Carla had a bit more struggle to follow suit with her suede ankle boots, but she got them off and pretended not to notice how disturbed the insides of them were as she added them to the little mound in the entryway. She took the step up and followed her luggage into a bedroom off of the hallway. Mr. Han dumped his arm load in a new coverlet and pillow under the bed. Then he began to explain that Western-style sheets were hard to obtain in Korea. Whereupon, Carla was gratified to be able to say, "No problem, I brought my own," and nod at her suitcase. This overcome, Benny and Mr. Han took their leave, Mr. Han smiling and nodding. Benny merely nodded, and reminding Carla once again of the advantages of perusing the material that had been bestowed upon her. Carla was properly appreciative, and then they were gone. "Thank God," she thought, and began to unpack. Soon you walked into the little bedroom, smoking a cigarette. "Sorry about this stuff. I've been staying in here. I tried to get most of it out," she said. removing a pair of black tights from the wardrobe. Oh, that's okay, no rush, said Carla, pulling out the sheets that had taken up most of the space in her suitcase. I don't know what this is. You better ask Mary if she wants it, said Sun Yu, glancing into the open desk drawer. Now, Mary's my roommate, he said Carla. Yes, said Sun Yu, looking under the bed. Listen, I hope you don't mind if I go out. I was going to meet some friends. And, that's all right. No problem. Don't let me hold you up, said Carla. Sun Yu's spirit seemed to soar. She hurried to the end of the shared hallway and tossed the tights into an even smaller room, nipped back down the hall of the living room, mashed out her cigarette, zipped herself into a tight black leather jacket, and went to the entryway and laced on her black shoes, chattering the whole time. It's Saturday night after all, and even though I told Benny I'd wait for you because Mary had to take her sister to the airport, I really want to go out and dance. I was going to meet Eleanor at Heavy Metal and... They're fine, really, don't worry, said Carla, who followed Sun Yu in her peregrinations because there was one thing she wanted to ask her. Just tell me where I can buy a pack of smokes, I'll be all set. Sun Yu was crestfallen, then brightened. She pulled a pack of cigarettes from a jacket pocket and held them out to Carla. Will these be all right? Perfect, thanks a lot. Great. Mary should be back soon. Her sister was taking a late flight out. You don't mind if I stay in the little room? Get out of here. Have a good time. Carla waved her out the door and turned the doorknob lock after her, and then reattached the chain. Alone at last, she thought. Alone at last. She went to the refrigerator in the kitchen, which was through a set of sliding doors from the living room. 2-liter bottles of a beer called OB were nestled on the door of the fridge. One had been open. What the hay, Carla said to herself, tugging it out. She poured a glass, noticing with satisfaction that it wasn't flat. She carried it into the living room. Settled herself at the round dining table. Tapped out a pack of cigarette from the pack that Sun Yu had given her and lit up. She looked at the pack as it lay on the table. Pine trees. Well, they're strong enough anyway. Good beer, good cigarettes, warm apartment, dancing. I can definitely handle this for 2 months. Hey, that looks like a balcony. Beer in one hand, cigarette in the other. Carla walked over to the floor-length window across which curtains were not entirely drawn. Yes, sliding glass doors ran the width of the room. They were unlocked, and Carla slid one open and stepped out into a tiled, glass-enclosed balcony that ran the length of their apartment. She could see that the diffuse light coming through the curtain panes of her own bedroom. And the unlit frame of a window beyond it. Mary's room, she guessed, would be next to hers. From what she could see, the floor space just outside their bedroom window was cluttered with stuff. In fact, there wasn't much space just here where she stood. She pushed the box aside with her foot and stepped to the edge of the balcony and looked through the glass. Far below was a wail of nothingness, and then a road where 6 lanes of small headlights raced along it. Continuous cross-current. In the gloom on the opposite verge lived an edifice of indefinite size. It was endowed with a portal of such mammoth proportions the people going by were as beetles creeping